Hey, 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 welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles can be reversed. Always know that the reading goes to the person that needs to hear it. That's how it works. We're magnets of who and what needs to the medicine that we need to heal. Really, the universe knows. We are blocked from knowing. Otherwise, we would actually do what we needed, right? I mean, no one wants to live experiences that bring pain and suffering. No one wants that. So on this channel, I do look at everything, but I like to dive deep within the reading. So I look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play those karmic themes. Because a lot of times you're dealing with a person that you already know that they have feelings. You don't know why they do what they do. You don't know what the whole spiritual significance is. You just know that the person triggers you, that they may say one thing and do another thing. And like I said, we don't understand. Or when we're in a connection with someone that is toxic, why does that person come to us if we're not toxic? Right? And the reason why is because we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So there's a bigger reason to why we're here. We get caught up in our day-to-day life. We get caught up in the traumas that we inherit, the traumas that we again just inherit ourselves, not even from our family and our ancestors, just from our own life, right? So we get caught up and it distorts our perceptions of who we are. And so we forget who we are. Now, from a spiritual perspective, and the reason why we always have to realize, how do things get imbalanced? Well, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. Your energy is unconditional love. That's when you're vibing at the highest frequency. That's when your chakras are balanced and you're actually in your body and you're being led by your gut, your intuition. You're able to give and receive of love. You're able to speak your truth. You're able to actually go with the flow of life, able to birth things and see in your mind's eye. And again, you get divine guidance through clairsentience, which and claircognizance. And claircognizance is just that knowing. So when we meet somebody that's a soulmate, there is always that knowing, like familiarity. So again, we let those people in. They feel like home. We want to establish a relationship with them, but a lot of times they're karmic. So again, to understand that the universe brings you what you need, well, the shadows are parts of yourself that you disassociated from, things that parts of yourself that you don't like, perceptions of yourself that aren't really real. So the universe brings you a situation, a person, again, to awaken you to the traumas, to help you integrate them so that you can evolve and be restored back to your original energy, which is unconditional love. So let's look at the underlying energy. Now, if you want to enter into winning free reading with me, I have been putting the directions now in the description box, but you need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in the comment bar, and then again, reach out through email. And it says in the description box what you need to do. All important information is there about anything of any relevance, okay? Like if you're interested in life coaching, to my website, to all that jazz. The word of the video is vanity. And I also want to pull another one. And you know what? I felt something right away. I feel like when you first met this person, they were very vain. Is it because they're very good looking? And there's a lot of people that, like find them good looking. But I feel like this person is like looking at you almost now as if you're vain. And it's not that you're vain. You're not. It's that you take pride in what you look like. And I feel like you're in separation right now. So this person is like angry because it's like, I feel like you're out and about and you're looking good. So it's almost like this person, when a person does something and is a certain way, they tend to project. So this person is vain. And so they feel like everyone acts the way that they do. Everyone doesn't act the way that they do. So this also shows that this person cares a lot about what they look like, and not just, again, appearance wise, but character wise. Big ego and guilt. So I'm feeling as if this person feels bad because they didn't give you the time, like enough time. They didn't give you enough time because I feel like you're someone that's very attractive. But when you met this person, maybe again didn't really dress up as much, or didn't pay attention to name brand things. Didn't drive the fanciest car. You didn't, again, the appearance of you, and that isn't, again, looks. And I also think for some of you that you hung out with people that made this person perceive you a certain way. And the irony is, I feel like so much time has passed, you don't even hang out with those people anymore. So again, this person made a lot of judgments about whether or not to be with you from outside appearances. Again, due to their lack. And they feel guilty about it now. That's the energy. So we're also going to see exactly how that played out, because I feel obviously that this person probably toyed with you. Otherwise we wouldn't be here now. There would be no guilt. And so you would know that this would be a karmic mate. Okay, forgiving. Look at that. They didn't mean to hurt you, but you are holding on to it. Forgiving helps you get past it. So Spirit is saying it's almost like that may be a spiritual karmic lesson that continues to play out. People like do things to you that where they don't really treat you fair. And it's almost like you're like, yeah, and then it's like I get angry. So it's not the first time that a person has treated you like badly over perception. And so understand that couldn't happen unless you felt that way. But Spirit says forgiving is a spiritual lesson. So you know that this is a karmic, that the theme is around that. Again, I just don't feel like this person gave anything. It made you feel like, again, empty, like not worth anything. And that this person was really hoping to like create that blind spot, that you were going to get caught up in the whirlwind of the emotion, of the passion, that again, you're going to have the blind spot that you aren't going to see. And really, when they didn't get what they wanted, they pretended as if like it was over, like it's over, but they still like had this energetic connection, and then almost to scare you, to intimidate you, to get you to, give them what they wanted, toyed with you. That's exactly what I said before. But I feel like when you really walked away, this person didn't believe that you were. They were like, again, projecting what they were doing, thinking you were doing the same thing, that they were playing a little game because this is what they normally do. It's like, it's the way that they feel desirable. So again, pretending that it wasn't ending. Like, again, really, you were showing them like, no, it's like, if you're not going to like treat me any differently, if you're not going to give to me or like, act in accordance to my boundaries of how I want to be treated, then don't be here. And it's like, no, I'm still gonna like hold on to your energy. I'm still gonna try and come in and out of your life, but with breadcrumbing you, not really listening, and just what are you just holding on to space because this person knew that you had feelings for them. And they knew because every single time I'm gonna tell you how you gave yourself away. It's not going to be in the cards. It's because you always gave this person attention every time they came back. So again, they could have came in your life once every week. They could have started by talking to you every day, and then it dropped down to like once a week, then once every other week, then once a month, then once, and you never said anything. You never said anything, or you might have said something, but you still talked to them. for the entire time. You would never reach out. You would never give this person anything, but whatever they gave you gave them back. I was like, I'm going to match their energy. And that's what did it. It's like this person was like, new, you have feelings. So they didn't really think that it was like you meant it when they ended it, because again, they're coming from their consciousness. If anything, they had a blind spot. And it was their ego got in the way of the why they didn't see everything, because they were cocky. You were not the first person that this person plays games with, you know? So we have to look at the triggers. But it's all the excitement of the attachment. That's what this person is really doing. Coming in and out of your life, they're forming an attachment style, and then the whole time you're feeling like forgotten about, because understand, them coming in and out of your life doesn't mean that they're coming in when you want them to come in. If you're like, well, it's my birthday, or if it's a holiday, or if it's some time that you have to acknowledge me, no, that's too much emotion. I would have to show you, and I can't give you that transparency. So of course you would feel forgotten about, and it was hurtful, because you're like, okay, like you look like you don't have a problem doing it for other people. No, this person doesn't have a problem doing it for other people. But again, they wanted you to give to them. So what it is like, it's like you're like, well, I'm going to have boundaries then. And then this person doesn't like boundaries. They get aggressive. And so it's like, and that could be like, if you're really not going to treat me with the respect, I'd rather you not weave in and out of my life, or I'd rather you tell me exactly what you want, be open and transparent. No, this person didn't know. It's like they enjoyed like the game, because I feel like you were not the only person that they were entertaining. It was like they were entertaining a lot of people. And so of course your boundaries were getting crossed all the time, because it was all about them. It's just very selfish energy, like I want to do what I want to do. So of course it's like, it's nothing worse than actually being connected to someone that doesn't show up during times that you need them to show up. It's like, but then they're going to show up when they need something. It's again very one-sided, and again, just you keep being kept out of their life. It's like one-sided, but they have to know everything that's going on in your life. So it's really control, and done that's through manipulation. And then the person needs the constant attention, otherwise they wind up getting jealous. So again, but meanwhile, you're the one that's not getting any attention. You know what I mean? It's like it's all about them, and they didn't like really see that. And you're like, why does it get so distorted? Well, it's the person is insecure, so they come in where they try to elevate themselves, where again they put themselves in a place that makes them look very important, desirable, and where they hold back, where they're giving attention to other places, even if it's not flirting, it's just attention everywhere else except for on you, in a way, so that again, to the point that even if a person didn't care, they wouldn't even do it. They wouldn't completely ignore you. That's this person completely like did things to try to get a reaction. And again, which what happens creates intimacy issues, obviously. It's like, you're keeping me out of your life. It's like, so, but you want me to fight, like for like they wanted you to fight for your position almost, which says everything about their own insecurity, you know. And that's the thing. It's like the way that they keep you dominated, but I feel like they also created illusions like they were going to change and that they would want things. So giving you a lot of mixed signals, but they always withdrew whenever there was like an an, an emotional issue. They don't know how to like show up, and I feel like they're rebellious. Like the more that the relationship settles into being comfortable, it makes this person feel uncomfortable. And it's due to whatever trauma that they went through. So it could be, again, growing up in an environment where they witnessed the parent go through trauma and they had to be the savior of the day. So now they have commitment issues. It could be, again, anything, the trauma of the past, their inner child. So again, mommy didn't show up for me because they were dealing with their own issues. So the comfortability is like you never get there because this person's comfortability is all about control. And, they're rebellious. They feel trapped in relationships and they escape through substances. But like I said, it's attention everywhere else except for on you. And then it's like, why am I going to stay in a connection like this? It's like that's really what it is. But it didn't start this way. It became this way. And so again, what you see is a person that has substance issues, has, they're avoidant. They're avoidant of their own healing that they need to do. They haven't done any of it. So they've never been in a healthy relationship because they're not in a healthy relationship with themselves, and so what it is it can be start off good, can start off passionate, but then what happens is that the everyday, is what makes this person not feel good because, hey, they don't show up for themselves. They no longer look perfect. They have a hard time showing up for you. And then it obviously creates intimacy issues. It creates problems. And that's pretty much what happens. What happens? No one wants to be in a relationship where they're forgotten about. So that's what happened. It kind of like the relationship fell apart. But you have to say, well, what do they think now? And you may say, well, clearly they don't care. Sometimes it's pride, it's ego, sometimes it's separation. People do heal sometimes, but understand you can be connected to a twin flame and a soulmate and really meet somebody and not be ready, go out, date a bunch of people and compare. I mean, part of the learning experience of what a person wants is finding that. It's like so sometimes if they're ready, and other times it's not. So it's not all the time. That's why we look to see, but that never means that you should stop and wait for the person. We always look at your inner child wounds to see what are you supposed to be doing? Why is that imbalance there? Like what needs to be integrated? Because once you do something different, well, then you're changing the dynamic of the game per se. And that is when people again have their power. They take their power back. And that's really what we're talking about here. This person wanted to emotionally, dominate the situation because of their issues. Again, where you're like, I always pay for other people's shit. Like it's like they're in a bad relationship, you haven't healed it. So now you're coming in like all handicapped, and I'm the one that has to come in and, help you out because, again, oh, you've been hurt. And it's like Spirit says, no, it's like you have to do different things. Hey, Kim and Scorpio Zen. So let's see. I can't fully be there for you as long as this other person is in my life. I know it's hard for you, but I have to go through this experience in order to heal it. So there's a karmic, which again would explain why, again, substances and trauma. So again, we're going deep. And so understand this person, you probably like, I had no idea that this person existed. Because anything that this person posts, they don't post this person. They never do anything. They don't acknowledge that person at all, like they're non-existent. And it's because there's nothing really going on, but they're still connected. It's a karmic connection. And karmic connection means it's like you're like you're bound to the person till you learn the lesson. So this person's self-esteem is very low, and it's because, again, they check out, they don't have good relationships, the reckless behavior. And who's going to be with this type of energy is someone that's very codependent. Remember, this is what they wanted you to do. They wanted you to chase them and fall all over them. Well, that's who they normally wind up with, because that's what they feel secure in a relationship. But the thing is, then they feel smothered and they feel trapped, because, again, they don't want that, but they start off in the relationship creating that. And then it's like, I don't really want this. I'm attracted to this. I want to be with this. Someone independent, someone that, again, is connected to other people, is doing things in the community, is doing things other than just up my rear end. Again, but that's what they created. And they need that in order to be confident. And so, holding on to people for a long time, it worked, because whoever they were with, they were never giving enough, you know, coming in and out, training the person, creating attachment. It worked for them. Very selfish. And we see forgiveness again. Look at this. Our union energy needs clearing. Repeat this 11 times with slow, deep breaths. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I'm grateful for you. And really, it's like this person would need to, like, actually ask for forgiveness. And 11 times means that this person just keeps doing the same thing over and 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 over. And they would do that to you too, even though that there's a strong connection there, because it's, again, it's like they don't have control. It's like a smoker that isn't ready to give up smoking. They're like, I can't I can't. Or a drug addict that's not ready to give up the drug yet. It's like they have to change. And also, the rebellious energy is also another way that they get that, serotonin and cortisol like kick, that boost of energy, that counterfeit energy. I need to be strong in who I am before I can merge my energy with yours in the 3D. I'm afraid I could lose myself in the relationship. Now, this just fell out. So, again, I take it because, spirit. And so, again, spirit is saying that, that this person knows down deep inside that they would fall into you, and life would be all about you again. And that's what happens in their relationship. It's like, it's another way that the codependency would play out. Like I said, they're with someone that's codependent, that there's no real emotional connection. They have to just go through it to realize that, you know, in order to be in a real relationship, you have to be vulnerable, you have to be transparent, and otherwise, what they're pretty much saying is that they're not deserving of love by staying in this energy. So, and they also know that the relationship will never really be able to grow as long as this other person's there. So, whether that person's dominating and manipulating and controlling and keeping this person in a place of feeling as if, you know, they should still be there through guilt and shame, and usually that's what's happening. Um, then the person needs to come to a place of knowing that they're deserving. And again, if they did a lot of bad things to that person, which I feel and they did, because again, they come into relationships and become everything you want them to be, and then they just check out and then have you doing all the crap work to hold the connection together. Well, the person's bitter, the person's angry, but it's like, what's more important? The person's like, I know that the universe works in mysterious ways, but sometimes I judge the situation instead of surrender to it. Yeah, because it's not easy. But it's not easy because it requires them to do healing, the healing that they should have done a long time ago. I mean, it's not like they love the person. I mean, the universe only looks at it like that. Does not care if you need your bills paid or the person likes, like, how much money you bring in or what things look like on the outside. It only looks like it in the eyes of the universe if there's real unconditional love between the two. The problem is there isn't, because things go from hot to cold real fast with this person, because intimacy is never really established. Intimacy on its most basic level is trust. So again, the person's, again, everything's their way, and there's a sense of what who's going to put up with that. Oh yeah, the nice one. The nice one that says, "Oh yes, I never argue. Oh yes, it's okay," but then gets themselves pregnant. And it's like, well, we have to get married now. Meanwhile, they knew the whole time that this person was not committed, that type of person. Or, finds a place and weasels in and seems like they're really nice, but plays on this person's, guilt, manipulation. That's what a karmic is. So again, are they going to learn? They're going to stay there? You have to pay for that? That's your theme. It's like, no, no, no. Spirit says, is that your theme? Or are you making it your theme? Well, that's what always comes to me. And the spirit says, like, well, understand, if the love is real, if the love is real, this person is going to do what they need to do. There's the sense that they're realizing that, the relationship is something like worth treasuring. And I feel like it's because you're honest. You're not nice. You're not. It's like spirit says you're not really nice. I'm not going to lie, but it's, again, you'll say what it is. This person thought because you didn't sugarcoat things, that, and you were so blunt, or you were so straight to the point, so honest, so raw, that it's like it's too real. It's very frightening for a person that has wounds. But it's like you hold no judgment to what you say, but you're not going to say that it's an apple if it's an orange. You know what I mean? Where this person is used to people being like, yeah, that's an orange. Even though it's an apple, oh well, it's because they said that it is, so it is. Let me just do, they, because they don't really like that, because what they're seeing is that's a bunch of bullshit. Because it's like this person just weaseled their way in through being nice, and now being stuck and not really offering anything. And here it is, you come along and you smart mouth, you're nothing that I would like, absolutely nothing, because it was like so raw and real and obnoxious. And it's like, but I'm crazy about you. you know and I shouldn't like you at all. It's like it doesn't, but you don't, because you don't make it easy. And there's a connection. And that's why I'm saying it's real. So we're saying, well, maybe, the glitz and the glamour, the sparkly is like this person, then that was so nice also. Well, it's a big sham. Here's this person, and they're not wearing name brand pants. They come in sometimes in their pajamas. You know, it's like it's whatever they feel like. What confidence that shows about who you are. Again, but this person is like looking around. What does everyone think? What does everybody think by 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 what she's doing? Again, or what he's doing. How would that make me look? Again, in their perception of you. But the problem is everybody loves you. So it's like this person, again, needs to realize that they're the alchemist of their life, that everybody's their alchemist in their life, that transform fear into love and light. Like, you don't need all those things. It's, again, that's the illusion that takes you outside this person's lack. And it's, they attracted people that were lack and superficial because they were superficial. And what they learned is, wow, this person is real. And at the end of the day, I'm looking around and they're the only one that was real. I mean, they were so real, I almost fell off my chair. I was so pissed off at what they said because it was so, I couldn't believe it. The audacity of being so direct, and not sugarcoating it. It's like I'm used to people blowing smoke up my rear end, not really telling me. And, and so again, different energy. They're like, and now it's like you're not talking to me. So I know I've hurt you and I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me someday and understand I was reacting from a place of fear. Again, that's because you go in and you create these superficial relationships because everybody's lying. You're lying. They're coming in lying, saying that they want all this and coming in fast and setting it up that way, and then attracting another liar that's saying, oh, yes, everything's okay. You can treat me like crap. Yes, it's completely fine. I love it, Uh, and then being sneaky and making sure that they know how to, get right on in there. So it's like, a person's like, well, I'm going to be with you. I need, you might as well do something, pay the bills, do this, do that. So the person becomes the slave, becomes that person. And don't you kid yourself, they knew everything that was on that bank account statement. They knew every tax. They knew everything. It's like, and so now it's like, how nice is that person? Is that person nice? Oh, they're so nice, aren't they? You feel like you're a caged animal ready to gnaw your arm off to get out. It's like because that person was nice. Weren't nice. They were full of shit. It's like, and again, saying I'm gonna do exactly what I want. I'm gonna make sure that my name is on everything. Oh, you don't love me? That's okay. That I'll be stealing another 500, $1,000 for you. You're gonna pay for that. New shoes for me. Nice pocketbook for me. Look at all the bling bling. Don't I look good? Don't I look good? Everybody thinks that I have this life too. So it's a sham of a life. That's what they're living, a sham of a life. And so, meanwhile, this person's like, I don't know, I have this connection, which is, is got to be pissing this person off. They're like, have this connection. And they're like, as they surrender to the 3D expectations, they surrender to your 5D connection. Again, they have a 5D connection, which is spiritual. This person's not spiritual. Like I said, they cared a lot about that, uh, the money, the facade, again, and what did it get them? Trapped. It's again because that karmic knew. Again, this person feels like destiny is calling. They like are feeling a pull towards you. Now, again, I think it's because you really resemble the fact that you don't need them. There's a sense that, again, and this is a spiritual connection, and they are connected to somebody that really they shouldn't be with. It's again, however long that they've been in this connection, which has been a long time. It's to the point that no one knows about them. Everybody knows about them, but no one knows about them. If that makes sense. Like I feel like the people in town may know because again, there's a mystery, but everybody knows them as living separate, as not being a union, as not being together. However, the karmic is like that's good enough. One day you'll love me again, or we can get it back to that passion state. Which again, in the beginning of the connection, there was passion, but that's what happened. It blew hot, and then it goes cold, and there was no intimacy built, meaning trust. And now it's like, well, I found a position for you in my life because I'm guilted, because I feel like I have to be here, for you, because that karmic tells them. Again, guilt. I'll contact you when I'm able to. Right now, my life is too complicated to bring you into it. But know that I do want to talk to you. Like this person wants to get away from that karmic. And I feel like, this karmic knows it. I feel like that, everybody knows when you're with somebody that doesn't really want to be there. And so I feel like the karmic feels like this person is there but isn't there. Their like mind isn't there. And they're just kind of like laying around, not really doing anything, not really contributing, just kind of taking up space. And so it's making this karmic really pissed off because they're like they don't want to be used. But they're the one that made that. Again, because the whole step of the way they knew that this person did not love them after a certain amount of time. That it's like they had their passion, but it then blew cold. And that karmic is like trying to like resurrect something that was over a long time ago. So because of you, I'm starting to see what is really important in my life. So I don't really feel like this person has like is like doing this purposely. Like I said, I feel like for a long time they were able to live connected to that karmic and just live a double life. A double life, like or the karmic and them were on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off because that karmic was always there. But it was like more of a convenience thing. But the problem is, as they kept taking this person back, they're still experiencing and growing memories. So that karmic, this is what they feel is their family. But the person that's connected to you was like, well, I did it because I wanted to, like, I was guilted into doing it. I felt like that was what I was supposed to be doing. For some of you, I actually feel like this person was getting out of something that they didn't marry that person. And then they wound up only to wind up having this person right there while they were getting out to get themselves back into the same exact situation that they were getting out of. So they never really wanted that. But then they pulled in family and they pulled in other people to manipulate this person. And at this point, it's like this person like doesn't really want to live in this type of connection, but they have to get really uncomfortable to leave it because again, I feel like they stay bound to, guilt in order to stay there. I mean, we see suppression of substances and you know how they feel trapped. Well, they are trapped. Like they're trapped to that like until that they stand up to the karmic. I know I need to release attachments with karmic people. I'm creating a plan to leave him or her. Literally, no shit, this is what it's saying. um so the spirit's saying it's like this person doesn't really want to be there. Now you might be like, but they didn't give me anything. Spirit's saying, listen, they're not of a high vibration, so they're attracted to you. You haven't been with this person. This person deliberately did not give you because of that karmic person. It's like because they knew if they were with you, that karmic would have put a stop to it. They would have, again, the relationship wouldn't have been able to grow. But they stayed connected to you. And I feel like they've gotten to the point where their feelings have grown, because what it is you didn't fall prey to their fuckery. You didn't like they, were trying to get what they wanted. They were trying to, because it's hard to like leave that particular situation because of guilt. But this is again a very spiritual connection and it doesn't logically make sense to them. It's like they just know they can tell the difference between karmic and you. And there again, and it's the way that the universe is like trying to say, hey, like heads up, like this is what it is. I miss you. Let's both stop running away. And that's because you like I'm not sticking around while that person's still in the picture. You know, you need to like release people and certain behaviorisms that keep you bound to that person. Because understand, it looks like the karmic doesn't really care if this person makes unhealthy choices, just as long as they stay there, right? I want to hold you in my arms and feel our bodies unite. Of course, there's going to be passion there. I mean, this person like has to leave, be like they wouldn't leave if they weren't attracted. Obviously, it's the passion that is what helps transmute those spiritual blocks. I long for your kisses and your touch. So again, very twin flamey energy, right? Very like, again, a lot of passion. What we are experiencing is a part of a larger collective clearing. Don't feel alone because others are healing too. So while you're in separation, you're both like are healing. Now, I don't know where this person is on their journey, but they clearly have to leave this person. Now, that doesn't also mean that you have to be with this person just because, they feel like you're a twin flame. You always have free will, but again, you're the catalyst that's making this person be like, there's hope. I can leave and I could be with somebody else. They have to leave for a better life than what they have, and they can't imagine a better life being by themselves. That's the main, like, that's the weapon that this karmic has, really. And that's what this person doesn't realize. If you don't have a life of your own, it's like, well, then they're afraid to be alone. So again, remember, they're codependent. They come in, they're insecure, they make the relationship like that, and then they don't want it anymore. Um, so, but with you, you didn't do that. And so again, in separation, which this is separation because you didn't give in to any of this shit. You're like, I don't care what kind of connection we have. You're not really offering me anything. I heard that song. I'm hearing that song in my head. You never promised me a rose garden, even though it's I never promised you a rose garden. Like, it's almost like with this person being like, I never promised you, you know, I never promised you, like acting like this cocky way, like almost like that's normal to be attached to somebody that, and live that way where it's not. But understand this person's accessing past life. Wisdom is helping them understand things with a new perspective, which is, again, if the person didn't have the passion, didn't have a connection, they wouldn't even look at their situation. So spirit's like, I don't care whether you're with this person or not. If this person like leaves this karmic because they want something better and they can see, envision something better, even if it doesn't work out, spirit says, it did the job. It's like, because it's that karmic's karma, because they know damn well that this person does not want to be attached to them. It's like, and they also know that they're binding that person by keeping them in a place of making them feel like shit, making them feel like you're responsible. This is what you promised. What are you going to walk out on me? Like, I mean, we've invested so much time. We built this together. We did this together. Meanwhile, like, your person really wasn't there. Like they were, you know what I mean? They were working and making money, and this karmic was doing it. So it's like they don't have an emotional connection because they didn't participate. Their heart wasn't in it. You can't make a person love you. It's like, and you have to be careful in the beginning of a relationship because there is passion, there is attraction, there is, but this person was arrogant. They weren't looking, they were getting out of a situation for some, and they wound up right back into the same exact situation where, again, feeling responsible. They need to clear the spirit saying, spirit saying, clear the illusion of the 3D world. Don't take everything at face value. There's a lot more going on spiritually and energetically than you can see. So again, there's these realizations that this person is having, about who you are, what they want, what type of connection they want, about the karmic, about seeing things from a different perception because of you, because this is a past life connection. So they were, even again in their dreams, getting like knowledge because spirit has a hand in it. And again, it's not because of It's not even to that you guys could be together. It's really at this point that like healing needs to be done, because even here it says like energy is stagnant, like you're not doing anything because they're not doing anything. So this person's like triggers sometimes happen to break the stagnancy and help the energy flow again. So this person has a hard time communicating, they have a hard time, so they would almost rather get into a fight, like if to figure out where you stand, and those things need to be changed. This person has intimacy issues, they have problems, but they don't realize that they are the ones that create the problems. Relationships, how the relationship starts off, you know um is gonna set the stage, and so not being in a relationship with a person that's transparent, I mean, again, and what this person thought was a good person, I mean, it's not a good person. They didn't pay attention to that. So we have to say, oh, where'd you go? I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I went off for a second. All right. That scared me. It was like, whew, so many cards. Sometimes I have soap cards everywhere that it just hits dashboard. All right. So then let's see. Let's see where they are now. Like you said, we see that there again, looks like a lot of healing is taking place, but you may not be seeing any action. And that's because I feel like this person is looking at their situation and they're like evaluating and they're seeing. And it's almost like the universe has to be like, you want to need something to compare what's normal and what's not normal. This is not normal. You associate this with nice. This person is not nice. This person, and again, this person that you thought was not nice is actually really nice. This person, again, so, making this person see. And so, again, I'm looking for where a different deck of cards. Here it is. I'll read your stuff after, guys. All right, so let's see what this person's doing now. Again, they're concerned about trust issues. Again, but this is a past life connection, so they really have a hard time walking away. Normally, they would just throw this connection away. That's what it looks like. It's be like it's no big deal. They can't walk away because there's actually connection. They know that they have to, like, again, release old habits, and that's codependency. It's the substances in order to stay in that connection. I mean, they're living a sham life. They don't have control over their life. Persons keeping them stuck in a place of guilt, victimization. Again, like this person doesn't have a high self-esteem. That's what we see here. Uh, Again, for a long time they made it look like they were the authority. They're not the authority in their life, and that's the thing. They don't have control over their life. Even if they're like, well, I feel guilty and I feel this way. It doesn't, it's like, you're not supposed to give up your life. You can make it up to a person, but the person is going to have to stay angry with you for a little while because they're mainly angry with themselves. They knew exactly what they were doing. They wasted all that time. They knew that, again, the person wasn't connected to them. You just happen to be the extra to get this person to be like, hey, like, you can actually have a better life. You actually could have that emotional connection. They felt it, they know it. That's why they wouldn't, again, give you anything. It's like, that's why, again, they couldn't give to like random people because of that. It's like that would grow. They said they chose to stay in a place of imbalance, because it's what they felt they should do. Um, but it's because that karma manipulated. So yes, this person then tried to manipulate you because hey, that's what they did in order to survive for a long time. um Again, all about the physical connection, right? That not really the emotional, because and then fear of change, because hey, what if I'm going to get myself into another relationship, exactly the one that looked like this one and the one before it? That looks, because again, this is the same karmic theme. That's why I have trust issues. So, I feel like you are different, but again, this person plays games. They are the main equation in their situation. So again, this is what they're battling. This is what needs to be healed. This is what needs to be looked at, um, during the time. That it's not about being perfect. Again, the illusion, there is no perfect. That we shoot for excellence, and we find that through, our own, passions and things, and whatever we're putting our energy to. It's that, again, the more that you do something, the more that you find your style and your individuality, and that is what shines. That's what people are going to connect to, not this perfect stiff illusion of, oh, look at my nice pocketbook, nice, and look at my nice, you know pair of pants, look at my ass with the tag on it, look at the car that I'm driving. It's like it's all superficial. It's all, again, because this person's afraid of rejection, but rejection is they're rejecting, themselves. They're afraid of rejection. Well, again, but if I have these things, you won't reject me, which is the illusion. Meaning, you're not going to like them for who they are, and so understand the lack creates a lot of jealousy. And so again, and back to addiction. So that's what's happening right now. So the process for this person is very slow. So it's, again, are they triggered? Are they going through a dark night of the soul? Are they wounded? Yeah, they don't want to be in this situation. They feel like they're, stuck in a situation that they don't really want to be in. They have to have the courage to get out. You're not giving up. They know that they have to release attachments in order to be in this connection. However, then even if they remove the person, because you say, well, how did the hell do you get into a connection like that you stay connected to someone like that? Well, it's because what kind of life does this person have? It's, again, that's really what it is. This someone that's strong wouldn't even get themselves into a situation like that. You know what I mean? They'd see right through. They didn't have boundaries, codependency, like laziness. Okay, well, you're here. One-sidedness, selfishness. Really, they, well, again, I'm getting my needs met. I don't really care about yours. And that's someone that's, like you said, that would be, you know an avoidant, not having to go deep, so not have to go deep. So there's a lot of issues. Like I said, this person would not just have to like clean up their act, but they also have to like see why they avoid, and take a little responsibility. So it's not like that there isn't a connection. There is a connection, but there's all this other shit, and there is also healing going on inside. So you're not going to see anything happening on the outside, but spirit says, oh, things are happening. It's like because they're miserable, again, in that sham of a life, and that they don't really have control over their life. And they do desire to have love. They're not, they, whether it's you or somebody else, that what they're coming to realize too is that they would have to release that person in order to fully have love. And so again, they have to be really uncomfortable. So of course, for a long time, this person was like, well, I feel fulfilled, having it both ways. I can, go out and have a one night stand and get my needs met that way, and live departmentalized, uh, where this person takes care of my bills and my house, and this person, again, I get my emotional connection, and this person, but then spirit said, oh, well, then brought the twin flame, because it's like, well, now compare all those people that were okay living like that. And now compare against your twin flame that has all this passion. This is not something that they wanted to change. This is something where the universe says it's time to change. So it's, again, once you've experienced something again that's better, it's like you don't really want to go back to like mediocre, right? It's like you went and you ate at the best, like best restaurant ever, your favorite restaurant. Do you really want to go back to like Roy Rogers for that like soggy roast beef sandwich? No, it's like you want to go back to the experience, and that's what spirit did. It's like this could be, if this person would step it up to twin flame, they have the opportunity in this life. This is a past life connection. They are accessing past life wisdom because they haven't gotten it right yet. So spirit is saying, but what we see here is, very slow process because of all the addictions and the escapism. But they can't escape unconditional love, because the universe says, well, that's me. That you can't escape me. I'm God. I'm ubiquitous. I'm going to show up everywhere because I will make you surrender. And it's again, and that's so this person is kind of battling with themselves, and you're connected to that person because there's a spiritual connection. But spirit says spiritual connections doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be with this person if they, again, are not going to rise up, and definitely doesn't ever means put your life on hold. What it means is, what did this person trigger within inside of you? What needs to be healed and integrated? Why was this connection what it was? Spirit is asking, like, you're a mirror of whom what you attract. That doesn't mean that you're like that. What that means is they made you feel a certain way. You did something, or maybe you found something, uncovered something about yourself. It awakened something. You have to revisit a trauma. Like, what was it that you had to? Because again, we can't go back in time to the original trauma, but then spirit will create, like, it knows that the dynamic of that person and you, the karmic, that there will be a lesson, and the lesson is going to teach you if you integrate the spiritual lesson. To integrate the spiritual lesson means to actually see a different outcome, one that brings of unconditional love, not one that's separation. The separation of love is the fact that this is a karmic connection, and that this person is like needing to heal. So that, again, the separation is just their perception, because they've cut themselves off from love. That's why spirit says, I don't really care whether you're going to be with this person or not. It's like, understand that. It does have the potential, however, to really be a hot and heavy, real passionate connection. Just difficult one too, though. But I don't care whether you're going to be with them or not. Where spirit says you attracted this person, number one, support. Well, obviously there is no support. This person didn't give you any support. Well, spirit says, well, you didn't grow up with any support. You're looking for that support, emotional support. Look, that just kind of flipped right the hell over. And that's, again, physical touch, which I associate with emotional, right? Like, again, they weren't there for me. It's, again, emotionally, they gave nothing. And spirit said, yeah, because, again, they were connected to someone else. And they knew that this is a real connection. That's why. It's like, if it was going to be a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, then it wouldn't have been bad. But this person knew that it wouldn't be, because there's already an emotional connection without that physical. Once there's physical, forget about it. It would be so hot and passionate that they would be forced to leave that karmic. So, and they weren't putting themselves in that position. It's like, no, it like, just be loyal, because you're not just going to give it to me without making me give you something in return. and I can't be in that type of connection. Joy, again, like someone robbed your joy. Again, organized chaos. Let's read it. We'll read it all at the end. One, two, three, four. Uh, shame, five. One more is self sabotage. Yippee! Those are not the best cards, as we can see. Which, again, soulmate twin flame, you have to know that the wounds are going to be deep. Not everyone meets their soulmate twin flame, but understand if the wounds are deep, where you were taught that love was conditional. You're not going to get, you're going to get you're going to get your twin flame because you were taught in an environment of that wrong, completely wrong. And so you're like, how would I even know what that fuck that looks like? Like it doesn't even feel right. Like you're telling me that I should be like this, that it's going to feel like this. I've never seen that. That doesn't exist in spirit, saying it's, again, you're going to go through the experience. You're going to embody the experience. This is what unconditional love looks like. This is what, again, it means to forgive. This is what it means to be compassionate. This is what it means to be, again, where if you trust in your environment, you can actually open up and be your true self. Person has that, instead of, I need all these things outside myself to create the illusion to make you perceive that I'm this person so that you love me, when really it's, again, the focus is that you don't love them. So that's what will always manifest, which is very self-sabotaging behavior. So understand, cut off from love, which you were also cut off from love, the emotional support of, I didn't get that. There was no support. It was like things got done, but it was chaos. It's like I went to school, but it was, chaos. And so the shame, and chaos could be like just growing up with a very angry parent that used to talk down at you, would shame you, make you feel like something was wrong with you, make you feel like you were inadequate because, again, of their own shortcomings. This is what ancestral karma is. How the parents dealt with stress, how they dealt to their environment, what was going on. So, again, shame. And then, again, of not really feeling loved, again, you too self sabotage behavior. And that's by going towards people that are emotionally not available. Spirit says, listen, like this feels familiar, but it wasn't joyous growing up in that. Right, absolutely no joy or happiness. It made you feel separate. And so, again, you get the story of who you think you are, then there's the real story of who you truly are. And you say, well, why the hell do you do that, universe? And God says, for my glory, we wouldn't have a relationship. I again display my glory through your most broken, which are your shadows, which are your fragmented pieces. And those fragmented pieces are, again, like, are what you cut off from love because of what you were taught. And you were taught not with words, but by the lack of emotional support, the like of that nurturing, of feeling safe, of a lack of support, of, yeah, things got done, but I was always getting yelled at. It was always like I would never could relax. I never felt safe. And so, again, and because of that, it was always shamed. So I get in my own way, and I get around people that I really like too. I'm not as emotionally opened. I have a hard time expressing how I feel. I have abandonment issues. I have, in spirit says, oh, we see a lot of mirroring energy here. You just weren't going to mirror it with that person, but you went to a person that was, again, that's the karmic theme of, you can't have emotionally, where spirit says, yes, you can. It's, again, don't try and control things. It's, again, if the person came into your life, there's many different realities that play out at one time. It's what you're doing. It's karmic. You're not learning. Where Spirit says, again, everybody knows that is to create your own support. Like that's how you, and to give yourself the emotional support that you need. It's again the emotional support that the people that are you're going to surround yourself are going to give you that love and the nurturing. So again, that you're going to see that you're deserving of it. Surround yourself with that, and then Spirit says, and also I'll pull two more of like, why the hell did I wind up in this connection? like, like for this, we ask, and Spirit says, uh, to help you with your soul's calling, to listen to the whisper of your soul guiding you, align actions with values that this person that I do feel like is a twin. They don't just, I don't feel like they're very spiritually evolved. I feel like there's someone that may be good in business, someone that's very logical, someone that's very analytical, someone that could build you a house, someone that can like is good with that type of stuff. Where Spirit's saying, but you would have to again be teaching this person from a spiritual perspective. So it's always about aligning your actions with your values. And that's because you're already coming from a high vibration. And it's also to make sure that you're giving most of the attention to your soul's calling, like which is your soul's path, whatever you feel like you're supposed to be doing down here. And you say, I don't know what that is. Well, then it's to find it. And then you find it through going out and trying different things, like trying things that call to you, making the time for it. Yes, I know that it may be uncomfortable, but healing doesn't feel good. You may have to rearrange your life a little bit, especially if you're working a job that you hate. Like, so really, Spirit's saying it's like, look at life more from a spiritual perspective. Because if emotionally you didn't get fulfilled, you definitely need to find something work wise that's going to fulfill you. And the reason why is because you spend more time at work than anywhere else. Otherwise, you're not, you've already lived experience where you embodied the energy of not getting that physical, emotional support. So Spirit says, you already know what that looks like and feels like, so you can manifest that really easy because you've never have anything to compare to. So the only way to heal it, that Spirit's saying, is again to understand that there's that you have to listen to why you're here. Like again, listen to your soul's calling. Listen to it, meaning try things, see what again leads to you. Define that. Give most of the time to that is what Spirit's saying, not to your twin flame. You do it. Because what this connection is not about, oh, you're my second half, my other half. Spirit says no, it's about you stepping into your divine being. It's that yes, this person has gifts where you don't. Yes, that's true. But this needs to be where you're on your path and you're strong. You're not even paying attention to this person. It's that you're on your path. Yes, they come into your life and you make time for them, but the majority of time is on you. Again, the relationship is again a marker of how you need to be, because this person, like if you were to be too emotional anyway, they wouldn't be able to deal with it because they can't deal with their own. So Spirit saying, oh, you're going to have to get that emotional support, by the way, from somebody else. Stop looking for it from a person. It's not going to happen for you. It's like because you feel you need it. And whatever you feel you need is an attachment. So you don't need anything outside of you. So again, not going to happen. Spirit says, listen to your soul's calling. What makes you passion? What brings you passion? Why do you think that you're here? How are you contributing to humanity? How do you give and receive of love? What is your free will? What are you choosing? It's again that because that's where you should be putting your energy, is what Spirit's saying. Um, and it's about again not about this person. understand this person's job is to protect you. It's again while you are on your journey, or this person is again, you're showing them, because this is all experience, good and bad, shapes your soul's evolution, learn and grow. But it's all about, again, the journey of life, and that's your own life, and but it's all about, I also feel like, your soul's path. Um, and facing fears. Like fear is often an illusion. Don't let it hold you back. Confront challenges. So understand that there will be challenges in this connection. Don't cut yourself off from fear. Like, and be like, oh well, I can't, because spirit says there is an opportunity to evolve, and this could be an actual, really good connection if you can get past the first thing. And the first thing would be forgiveness. You may not want to. Spirit says, but understand there's limitless potential. That's what's like, that's whether you're going to be with this person or not. For you, it's understand it's limited potential. That's why you went through this connection, to learn, to again, and to see things from a different perception. But also, it could be one that really, like, a connection that transcends what you can have ever perceived a relationship could be, because of the depth of the love, the passion, and also the growing and the learning and the significance of the connection. Because again, soulmate, twin flame, they come together and they birth something. So remember, this person is like, I feel like you're supposed to be in my life. There's a lot of past life wisdom. Why is that? Well, it's, you're not just supposed to come and have a love affair. Spirit saying there's a bigger purpose. And the whole point is to be the expression of love. I give you free will to do that, but if you don't even know, and because understand, in being the expression of love, by doing whatever it is that you do, you have to be able to connect to other people. And if there's a problem in that area, because again of what you were taught, well, spirit saying that relationship teaches friendship, it teaches balance, it teaches, compassion, it teaches forgiveness, it teaches, because we don't have control over, like, the fact that we're crazy about this person, but the person triggers the shit out of us. And it's like, again, the fine line between love and hate, and how when it's really good, it's really, really, really good, but when it's bad, it's really bad, because it, like, the type of connection just has that, because it brings up all of us. And that's why spirit's saying is to help you reach your, like, your best potential, like to be able to see, but you're blocked. And there are just certain blocks that you wouldn't be able to heal on your own. It's like, so spirit helps bring in a person that it's almost like is so irresistible and you're so crazy about, but it's like, and it's like the passion is worth it. But it's also like a really, like, I'm not gonna lie, tough connection that spirit says that's why. And to help you, that's why this person, to help you both reach your limitless potential, can't happen if you're all blocked up, because it's gotta, you gotta be able to really see it, know that you're deserving from it, put the energy out there the best way, don't lose course, don't be codependent again, and just step into the best version of yourself. That is going to inspire this person to also, like, you're being that person's muse, you're showing them. And that's what the twin flame does. It's like they learn from each other, they rub off on each other, but again, it's, they're both polar opposites, again, which, having to find balance means that, both parties have to always compromise, which, understand, you're dealing usually with two people that grew up in trauma and tend to like to control, don't feel safe. So, there's a little bit of a tug of war. There's a little bit before people the couple surrenders to what is, because they just get so exhausted. They're like, oh, you're still freaking here, I still have feelings for you. It's like, and I can't really change this. It's like I still have feelings. So, both parties find the balance where spirit says yes. And the balance is not losing yourself in this person. It's about having your job, and it's all about you stepping into the best version of yourself. This person will find their way again, and the twin flame journey will come together. That this person will see where they can help and contribute and protect you and create the balance to be able to birth something again through the fire of the passion. It's not a logical, like I said, connection. It's one that is just, again, really a spiritual one where the divine has orchestrated, because it's like those wounds are never going to get healed on their own. It needs unconditional love, real love. And spirit says, leaves off and says, what are you going to do? I feel like, again, that like this, it shows hormonal. So I feel like, again, like this person may have like the power to um, make you moody because they're insecure. They're a little insecure still. So you're not getting a person that's the best version of themselves. Remember, they have to step into the best version of themselves. They don't know what that looks like. And spirit says, da da, that's where you come into play. So it depends on what you're going to hold to. And again, that's how you're going to see that this person is like the truth, again, because this person does want to do it. They want it to be fair. They want it to be fair. They just don't know what it looks like. They just always tend to focus so much on the love and the romance and the affection, but again, it's all mainly for the passion, and that's why it doesn't last. So it's almost like this person would have never learned what it was like to be a friend. They would never surrender to learn that stuff unless they kind of botched up the relationship, is what it looks like. And spirit says, yeah, because they have to come back and surrender their ego. Um, and understand then what, again, abundance, plentiful goodness. Like, spirit says that this disconnection has the power to do that. It has the stamina, but this person's going to have put in the effort. And that's really what it is. You're like, as long as the person puts in effort and does give you the love and the romance, like I feel like you'll be able to deal with their immaturity. It's like, I feel like this person is going to try. It's like they're ready to, they want the abundance in their life. And abundance is like wealth in every area of life. Okay. That's really what it is. And that's what this person like. So as long as, and that's what you want too. You want that also. So as long as you're on the same page, and when they come back, that's what it looks like. And what we see right now is they're not there yet, because it's almost like they're still healing, like spirit's still working on them. There's realization still going on. Um, they're getting the courage up to figure out a way. They're working on a plan to like leave that karmic, which they just need to be honest. But again, this person, I think, that feels like it's not going to be that easy, and it probably isn't, because like I said, the karmic has put up with a lot and it's been there for a while, knows every button to push. So we're going to leave off with one more message, which is spirit says, just know it's all about self-love. Like, make sure that you're attending to your own needs by listening to your heart, that your inner essence lets you know what is good for you. Respect your limits, answer the requests of your body and your soul, and learn to love yourself. Understand that's usually why we do get the soulmate twin flame connection, because understand that person is going to trigger us, is going to challenge us, is going to, and a lot of times we're not even realizing like how we're blocked and how we're undervaluing ourselves and how we're not, again, we don't hold to a standard, that we just love go in and, a little naive about thinking that, oh, this person's going to treat me the way I treat them. No, not this person. It's, again, because the way that they deal with life is completely different. And if they have trauma the same way that you have trauma, but you have a different attachment style, you can just forget it. You have a runner chaser dynamic, and one that is fully games, and the person is really immature and just, again, what we saw, attached to like somebody else, pretending to live like, again, a different life, and where they're not loving themselves either. And really, spirit says that's really what the twin flame connection is to get back to a place of loving yourself. Like those shadows, those blocks of what, again, is what cuts us off from love, because it makes us feel separate. It makes us, we're the ones that are actually rejecting it. And spirit says, can't go back in time to heal. So the twin flame connection during separation, there's a lot of healing that goes on with with both parties, and not just one. And you were taught just as badly of being shamed and not having support and not getting the emotional needs. As a child, children need the emotional support, where spirit's saying it was time for you to reparent yourself, give yourself that self-love. It's like, this person doesn't know how to, because they're not even doing it for themselves. Remember, you're a mirror. The twin flame is the mirror. It's, again, same experience, similar experience, created similar traumas, or the same traumas. Just how they go about it, how they deal with it, are different. And so spirit's saying, it's like, but the antidote is the same. Self-love, to help get you back to restoring you, to helping restore this person. Because the universe says, I don't want you to be cut off from me, love. You're deserving of love. You're here as part of my grand design. So, again, you have to become the expression of love. That's what's most important. And then understand the universe says, and then I will bring you everything. You're right person. So it's not that this person isn't right. I feel like they're right for right now for your healing, and because soulmate twin flame is that. But is it forever? Usually not, because it's such a like tumultuous, relationship. And once you heal, the dynamic of it is different too. What usually you really what attracted you to that person and vice versa, like, is no longer, because you've integrated those, because the person helped you. So now you found your own way, and that, so it's almost like you outgrow, or you grow away, and you get on each other's nerves. Usually that's what happens. I mean, are there exceptions? Yeah, there are exceptions, but usually, we have to look at, like I say, look at all the famous, like, twin flame connections. They never lasted. They birthed something beautiful, but they were tumultuous connections. Fine line between love and hate, but it's all about balance, where spirit's trying to teach balance. And that first comes from, you know, surrender to get spiritual equilibrium, which is balance, to know where to begin. And then spirit saying, and this is what it looks like, and this is how it's displayed, and this is what you need to do. And so it's almost like, without the actual birthing of anything, the focus would always be on, oh, your healing, my healing, the relationship. Where spirit's like, no, focus is on the relationship. Focus is on what you're creating, where you're both bringing your talents, and both are, focusing to birth something, again, through the act of love, because there is love but it's again, it gets you know, confused because you're dealing with a person that's not emotionally intelligent. So again, they don't know how to express it, and you're someone that really knows how to express it and is creative and is like Mrs. Roper. Like just I see someone that's very colorful, that likes to wear colorful, and it's like, hey, the sun is shining today, and but may only have $3 in their bank account or whatever, but like magic happens all the time, where the other person doesn't believe in magic. So doesn't believe in love. So again, you're dealing with where spirit says, well, both are me, is what God says. Both are me. I'm both that energy. The problem is, it's like, this one's going to be homeless, looking all fine with their colorful outfits, you know, but again, they don't really can't navigate their life that well, and this one's going to be miserable and rich, and just a miserable person that lives out of alignment, where spirit says, due to the blocks. So the two come together and they help each other and they live and they transmute, and there's almost like so much passion and romance that you just are like, I have to be in this connection, even though it's going to be a hard one. So I'm going to leave that there. Let's see what anyone have any questions about fidelity and depth of what would. Right. There always has to be well, in the beginning of a twin flame relationship, what the issue is that the person never says, hey, this is what the relationship is. There's always like this gray area. They're not, it's more of an energetic connection of, hey, I have strong feelings for you. I like you, but I'm not emotionally intelligent. So I'm not going to tell you that. And it's a lot of games because, again, that person that has the deep connection, they have to go deep within inside themselves to feel, and that is triggering for them. So they just like to keep it on the surface and feed their ego because, again, the lack of self-worth that they have. So again, in the beginning of a soulmate twin flame connection, the person they're not there's no such thing as fidelity, because they're like, well, I'm not really with you. They keep it in this, I never said that that's what I wanted. So usually, you're like, well, why am I attracted to this person? Well, it is a spiritual connection, and so it's requiring you to do something different. It's requiring you, and the whole point is that you can't help it because it's love. The person does redeem themselves, but are you going to be able to forgive? A lot of times we can, and the person's like, you blew it because you can't. But then you have to look at your life, and spirits will say, how many times have you gone through experience where someone has really done you wrong and you never really got over it? Like, you hold on to anger. Are you still angry at your like mom for doing what, like, for not being there? Are you still angry at your dad for not showing up? Are you still angry at the first love of your life? Like, where are you still angry? Because again, unconditional love, learning what that is, unfortunately, the big one is like forgiveness. A lot of times, again, no one gave you forgiveness. They put shame on you. So hey, that ruined my life. You made me feel this way. So again, spirit says we have to go back to like learning what unconditional love is. You were not taught that. You were taught that love was transactional. This is what it looked like. This person was taught the same way, and you got the same results karmically as your ancestors, as this person's ancestors, but which solidified the belief, I can't have love. However, there's still a spiritual connection. There's still like a desire. There's still a want. It doesn't mean that there's not fear. It doesn't mean that you're not going to see all the sabotaging behavior. You do. However, eventually, it's like 10 years down the line, 8 years down the line, 5 years down the line, 4 years down the line, the person like all of a sudden they're like, well, you know what? I'm tired of this. And understand that would require you to forgive. and have compassion, and to evolve into all the higher states of consciousness, which we call again the Christ consciousness, which is just again any emotion that's derived from unconditional love. And that's doesn't mean religious wise. Again, it's just that again unconditional love and the forgiveness of really being able to let go, where spirit's saying that's why you get your twin flame, because that's not what was done to you, that's not what was shown to you, you were shown wrong. And and really look, you're still angry at Mary Joe from second grade that uh kicked you, pulled your hair, ripped up your homework, called you a jerk, whatever it was. It's like, and you don't know how to forgive. And if you look, you always say, people screw me over. People screw me over. And Spirit says, well, do you have a problem with forgiveness? Because holding on to that animosity, that anger is only going to bring more people that do more of the same to you. So again, I'm teaching you. So understand it doesn't logically make sense, but through the act of surrender and unconditional love, we tend to then focus on different things. We want to understand what the triggers are. We want to find the balance because, again, there's passion, there's excitement, there's all this other part of the connection that allows us to do it, not because it makes sense, like, oh yeah, I just want to forgive. Understand, no, a lot of people know you don't want to forgive. And in the beginning there is an infidelity because it's never stated. It's always in that gray area of, well, we didn't say. It's like, well, I was trying to say, you just weren't answering. Every time I tried to say, you changed the subject, you played games, you had your hook in me, but you never gave. And Spirit says, yeah, and that's the problem. They're hooking you, but you allowed it. So again, to learn. If that's what it is, it's all about the lesson. And it's good to be grateful for the lesson. Thank you, Bliss on even Bliss Bliss 1-7, and he did say all the right things, I believe. So he just loved bombing. Well, I feel like again, somebody that the difference between like a twin flame and someone that just loves bombs you. Someone in the beginning when it's a karmic that you feel that intense connection, they're going to love bomb and their actions are never going to be different. They're never going to show any difference. They're never going to it's not. So you don't know who you're getting, and so regardless of whether you get the twin flame or you get the karmic mate, it's to make sure you don't lose yourself in the connection. And that's what Spirit said over here. This is Spirit saying, no, 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 this is about you stepping into the best version of yourself. This is about you finding balance. This is about you again. It's going to feel uncomfortable. Hey, normally I like to like baby the person. Normally I like to, and Spirit says, don't you dare. It's like, because this person will not appreciate it. It means that healing doesn't feel good. But you're like, if you're someone that's emotional, Spirit saying, I'm asking you not to be emotional with this person. You're gonna have to be a little bit logical, because again, that's their language. And what is, well, I'm always going to get the shit end of the stick because the person's a little selfish in the beginning. They can have a closed heart. And then Spirit says, yeah, and this person knows that they have to give you emotionally, otherwise guess what, you're not going to give them nada, not a damn thing. You're not going to nothing. And so again, that's not comfortable for them. And Spirit says, well, I got to be sneaky. They're not going to, you're not going to integrate what you need to integrate. They're not going to integrate what they need to integrate. So, I'm going to make it a twin flame connection. This way you both don't have any control. But, there's going to be a little bit of like, again, animosity and all these emotions and feelings because it's going to bring up a lot of stuff. But Spirit says all that shit needs to come out anyway, because that's what's separating you from me. Again, from abundance, from unconditional love, from that which it's not supposed to be there anyway. So again, this is why this happens. It really is a lesson. Well, it's not that you're ignoring red flags. No one said that you're ignoring red flags. In this story, the person saw the red flags and they disconnected. And because they disconnected, the person had a change of perception of what they want. It's because of that. So it wasn't like you're ignoring it, and you're not just letting the person back in by rolling out the red carpet and saying, well, come back on in, even though you cheated on me and you treated me like crap. No, what Spirit's saying is, it would be you again being more involved in your life, and this person working their ass off to prove it to you that they've changed. It doesn't mean that you don't date. It doesn't mean, it means that you have your life. It's like you get to see a different outcome. And the outcome is, well, that this person actually does humble themselves. This person does apologize. This person does give you what you want. And you are, again, like, they prove it to you. They redeem themselves. And again, it does take a special type of connection, which is the twin flame connection. You don't do that with every connection. And understand, Scorpios, then it's because the connection is hot. It's one where you wind up like in the bedroom half the time. It's like there's so much passion, and there's so much love. There's so much that when it's good, it's really good. So it's almost like you do it. And yes, it is. It needs to be a complete healthy balance between spiritually and practicality. Absolutely. And what you'll notice is the emotional person usually is not practical, and the practical person is not normally emotional. So where Spirit's saying it's like this is the way that you get spiritually healthy, and that's what it is. It's not because it's an easy thing. It's a really hard thing, and that's why the relationship a lot of times doesn't last, because guess what? Eventually you like those things pile up where you just can't let it go. It's like, I love you, but I just can't. And it's because you're just so different at the end of the day. But again, the connection holds for its purpose, with the purpose of healing, and to help you transmute those really difficult wounds. It's not a forever thing. It's almost like if you're like adventure and you like to go bungee jumping, you wouldn't do that every day. It was like, I did that once, a one and done. It's like you're never going to have another connection like it ever again, ever. It's like it doesn't mean you won't find love again. It just won't have like that passion, where again, really there is a fine line between love and hate, and it's that many lifetimes of pent up, sexuality, that because of not getting it right, but still being passionate. That's really what it is. Like for every relationship, it has to be a really hard lesson for you to again be different. The person has to really impact you. Yeah, and that's even though we've been broken up feels, and but I feel like again that that's because like there's a part of you that's like identifies, I believe, more with that old person, and then instead of who you are today. You know what I mean? Which means that, when you were like hanging out with that person, your hobbies, your interests, the friends, life, and it was a good time. It wasn't all like miserable. And again, you gave a lot to that connection. So remember, it's how much you give. You made that person like your life. So Spirit says, so really, what did you learn? That no one is supposed to be your life. That again, someone can enhance your life by again making it like more enjoyable by what they bring in, or they should. If they don't need to be in your life. It's about wholeness. means that you're still not really whole, and that's not because of any other reason except for, like I said, spirit saying you need more connections, more life, more experiences without this person, because then, hey, I have a lot of passion life, I'm meeting people, and eventually you say, oh, you don't stay in the same place. There's still part of you that's holding on, because you're like, well, nothing has taken its place. And that goes back to the art of transmutation, which is, again, I learned the spiritual lesson, but I still have all that energy of, like, I know it, but I feel disconnected. And the spirit says, because you have to embody the new consciousness. Otherwise, it doesn't do it. Interesting. Suppose I haven't encountered such a thing. You know what? It's like, you not a lot of people don't. Not everybody meets their twin flame. A lot of times when people think a karmic mate is a twin flame, that is not. You only know that it's a twin flame when they actually come back, apologize, and work their ass off to get back into your life and bring something to the table. And it means a lot of times, you know, by the time they come back, the relationship is completely destroyed. So they really have to come back and prove it. And that's because their heart is so closed that spirit says, well, look, you burnt that bridge. So the only way you're going to get back is to rebuild the entire bridge and make a way. And the person has to do it. So you're not really giving them anything, but it doesn't mean that you're not. It's almost like, but you really like that person. It reminds me of this one girl that came to me for a reading, and she was says, yeah, we was dating and it was so passionate, and then we broke up. But then, like, he would still like try and be like, no, we have to try and try. And then when he gave up saying that, she was like, yeah, I told him that I wanted to break up, but I wish he would still try. It's again almost like that's what you know, there's a desire for the person to like fix it, even if they like you're so angry, you just don't know, you don't think that they could ever fix it, because and spirit says, well, that's your ego, and the person is really going to have to work their way. So again, but if it's real love, it'll work out. It's like, because we don't have any control. At the end of the day, that's the message spirit saying. You have no control, but don't think that you're not getting anything out of it. You're getting something it's a passionate, there is this unconditional love, it is off the chart, and the person and you like are gonna create something, are gonna like, so there's purpose behind it, and it just feels like right. Think about like just like I said, it just feels right. It doesn't like, but like I said, it can't last forever, because like I said, I feel like once the twin flame person, like, like has learned what they needed to learn and had that encouragement, they've already stepped into the best version. So what they found so admirable about that twin sometimes becomes like difficult. Like think about Tina and Ike, Tina Turner. Like she was insecure when she first started. Remember Anna Mae? She was very insecure, and and Ike was behind her being like, you could do it, and it needs to be done like this. And he was the business guy and she was the creative. But then when they fought, and then it triggered his jealousy again, because he wanted that. It's again where they had to, at the beginning, it was Tina and Ike, but then Tina got big because Ike, really wasn't working on his own career. He was more like, getting caught up in the women and the drugs and whatever. He again didn't stay true to that twin flame journey. And what happened is, again, it became very tumultuous, because that can happen. That's again the fine line between love and hate. But again, Tina Turner and Ike, they birthed that music, and it changed the music industry. So like I said, it holds significance, but it's not an easy relationship. That makes sense. I operate on direct honesty, and I acquired that from Oh, and that's the way that you should demand that and understand. It's just almost like a thing though, Scorpios, then, that it's like, this is not my type. I would never even go for this type of person. Like in this story, this person likes people that sugarcoat. And here it is, like, you're not someone that sugarcoats anything. And it's like, this person is like, that's a no go for them. This is a no go. This is a no go. And at the end of the day, Spirit says, you don't really have as much control as you think. It's like, and because how you view things is like complete ass backwards because what you were taught. And this person is like off also. So really, I'm gonna again make this play out, and it does play out, and there is significance, and there is a lot of healing that happens in separation as well as together. And you do experience those high highs when everything's great, but unfortunately those low lows too. And that's because there's still healing that needs to be done, and just because you're in love with the person doesn't mean that the healing process is easy. It's not. It's if anything, it hurts, but it makes us do the healing that's required. All right, guys, it was extra long tonight. If anyone has any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. Otherwise, thank you so much for sharing your energy with me. If you haven't given me a like, give me a like. And I will be on again tomorrow. I have a pretty busy day tomorrow, so I don't really know when I will be on, but I will be on. Thank you, Kat, and thank you, everybody else, for again sharing your energy with me. Have a good night. Thank you, Kim. Have a good night. Always be true to you. Love yourself. Remember that the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. You imagine it, create it. Always be in a high vibration. All right. Good night, guys.